Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. Live tonight from Watkins Glen International, the Glen here in the Finger Lakes region of New York State. So glad you could be here with us tonight for this race 5 of 10 in this fall season. The BMW M8 GTE machines going to lead us around here in this race tonight. 20 cars showing up for this one, so should be a good, exciting race at one of the fastest road courses in the United States. 3.45 miles in this boot configuration, and 12 turns make up this course. And it is quite the facility. My home track here in upstate New York, and looking forward to a good event from these guys as we ride on board with Stefan Vappa working through the qualifying session. Currently, Steve Ficacci, last week's winner, is the fastest in qualifying. He has 2 victories this season. Darren Treacle as well, a 2-time winner. He currently sits 3rd in the qualifying order here. This is a 40-minute race format tonight, so an endurance race, and there should be a pit stop completed by these guys at some point during the night. Take a look at the qualifying times. You can see Steve Ficacci at 1:41.456, currently just over a 10th quicker than Brian Kennedy, who sits 2nd, Darren Treacle 3rd, Stefan Vappa 4th, Rafael Torres in 5th, Peter Lanik, Adam Pohl, Aaron Dietrich, Clint Fletcher, and Mike Pabolano make up the top 10. Should be a fun one. Very excited that these guys are here tonight, part of the United States tour that they're on during this season. Next week they are off for a week break, and then we will be right back the following week. And that one is going to be from the Daytona Road Course, October 20th. Should be a fun one there as well. That's a great course. There are a lot of these guys with experience running the 24 hours event. As Vappa across the stripe, just a 100th off of his fastest time. Not going to be able to improve. See if anybody else is out there. Mike Pabolano working through the final corner and really wheeling that car. Got a little out of the groove, up into the wall. That lap not going to count, as the flag man keeps waving here. Carlos Bonds on the racetrack currently scored 19th out of 20 drivers. He comes around here with just over a minute left in the session, trying to improve his lap time, but not sure he's going to be able to do that. We'll see at the stripe, a 1:56. So I think he's just trying to get a little bit more experience in the race car. But that should do it here for qualifying. Just a minute left. We do want to thank you for tuning in. Tonight's race brought to you by SEO Mike and Beltway Brewing Company. You can use the command exclamation point SEO Mike, or command exclamation point Beltway, and you'll learn more about those sponsors. You'll hear from them as well at the halfway break, or you can check them out in the video description. Good supporters of this league, and thankful for them for allowing this to go on, and looking forward to the rest of the season with these guys here in the BMW machines. Looks like Carlos Bonds will pull over. That should end the qualifying session. But yeah, if you have not been to Watkins Glen, it is an amazing place there in the Finger Lakes. A great little town down at the bottom of the hill, but of course the racetrack, one of the fastest here in the United States. And I've been to, I don't know, 15, 20 races at this point in my life. Maybe even more than that, in a couple track days. I know this group just did a track day a few months back, or maybe it was just last month actually. They met up here, and a lot of these guys got to run with each other. I know Steve Ficacci and Stefan Vappa, I believe, also got to experience a race here just a couple weeks ago. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys run here tonight, and if any of these guys, you know, little bit of real world experience, are familiar with each other around here. But let's go to the starting lineup for tonight's event from Watkins Glen. Starting on the pole here this evening, it is going to be Steve Ficacci continuing to have a great season here in this fall season. Brian Kennedy going to roll off from the second position alongside of him. Starting in third, it'll be Darren Treacle, who's looking to get back to victory lane. Rafael Torres will start from the fourth spot. Stefan Vapa starts fifth. Peter Lanik going to roll off from sixth here tonight. Adam Pohl going to start in the seventh position. Aaron Dietrich, he'll start from eighth. Starting in ninth, it'll be Clint Fletcher and Michael Pavolano going to round out the top 10. 11th tonight, Justin Craig. 12th, David Curtis. 13th, going to be Bruce Wiley, I believe, making his first appearance in the league. Colin Kortnick going to start from 14th. 15th is Mike Nickum. Jesse Brannon going to start in the 16th position. Matthew Gazenda will roll off 17th. Jakub Bielik going to start from the 18th spot. Carlos Bonds will start 19th. And rounding out the field tonight, it'll be Matthew Stover in the 20th position. So a good size field for these drivers. And looking for another exciting race. These guys have they have not failed to entertain this season. It has been very much a great action, great battles. And this is going to be one of those tracks where we will see drivers side by side. There's some pinch points. There are some passing zones here. Is the field going to work out of the boot section of the racetrack and behind the Porsche pace car? Who do you think is going to win tonight's race? Who are you cheering for? Let us know in the chat. Make sure to call them out. We'll try and follow along throughout the night. It'll be Steve Ficacci and Brian Kennedy leading us to the green flag here this evening through the final corner. Pace car going to make the hard right-hand turn onto pit lane. And here we go. The field set up behind Steve Ficacci. And the green flag's out. And nice jump by a few of these drivers. We're already 4 wide back here. And this could get a bit risky. Who's going to send it down into the corner here? Stefan Vapa gets into Darren Treacle. Around goes Rafael Torres. And you can't go through that corner like that. Rafael Torres and Brian Kennedy, who started on the front row. We're going to go back and take a look at this. And yeah, it's just never going to work as Rafael Torres goes around and he just barely catches Brian Kennedy. Nothing that Brian could do here, but that is what shakes out. And they are now at the tail end of the field here, side by side. Further up, Clint Fletcher with problems, though. He's gone around. You saw him sitting right there at the entrance to the carousel. What happened to him? Back on the replay right here. Did he just got loose through the bus stop? Another car went off there. Does everyone avoid him? Oh, he did get tagged there. Was that Matthew Gazenda? I'm not too sure who that was. But back in action here, it is still Steve Ficacci out in front, and he's built up a nice lead over second place. Stefan Vapa, Adam Pohl also there with Vapa, and then Justin Craig in fourth. As a very entertaining lap number 1. Still some side-by-side racing back here. Aaron Dietrich alongside that is going to be Jakub Bielik there. And they are fighting for the 11th position. Top 15 spots will pay out points here tonight. And this is going to be a battle for the top 15. One of the tracks that maybe doesn't require the same type of skill as some of the other road courses. We've got side by side further back here, and going wide is Matthew Stover, way off the racing groove. He'll get back in line here, but losing a few spots all the way now back to 18th. Mike Nickum trying to battle it up here with Rafael Torres, who's trying to fight through the field, almost gets into him through the top of the S's. And into the bus stop section of the racetrack. Oh, Torres way offline there, slows up on the exit. He was trying to make a move on Jesse Brannon, but didn't have space to do so. And off the exit of the carousel, pretty much single file here. You do see the battle right there. That is Matthew Stover and Brian Kennedy trying to work his way back through. This all going on very deep in the field outside the top 15. How about this, though? Aaron Treacle, who started in the third position. He's back to 7th after the early turn 1 incident there. And he's trying to make a move, working out of the boot, but goes way off the line there. And now might have to fend off Peter Lanick, who's set up right here behind him. We'll see what kind of speeds we get at the speed trap at the end of the straightaway right here. Lanick 140 across the line. Just about 155 miles an hour before they get onto the brakes into turn number 1. You can see he's got Michael Pavolano behind him. And pretty well single filed out here. This is going to be a bit of aerodynamic attrition for these drivers as they, run like this nose to tail. It's going to get more difficult as the run progresses. Keep up with those cars out in front of you. Aaron Treacle, though, hounding the back bumper of David Curtis through the carousel here, down towards the boot. Further back, Aaron Dietrich side by side with Yakov Bielik. These two, this battle will not quit. Behind them now, Rafael Torres looks to the outside through the uphill corner here in the boot. Gets the car a little bit loose, but able to clear Bielik and take the 12th position away. So Rafael Torres, 4th position starting this race, back up into 12th now after looping it around there. And he is very sideways. Rafael Torres, one of those guys, he's going to put it all on the line, and he's doing everything he can. You can see wheeling that race car. The battle for second could be starting here. It is Adam Pohl right on board with him. He's starting to close up. Stefan Vopp, a big bobble there out of turn number 1. Working up the S's, over 130 miles an hour through this part of the racetrack. And hitting speeds now about 160. 164. He's going to peek right here into the bus stop. Able to complete the pass up over the curb. He's going to be a little bit wide on exit, but able to just drive away a half second over Stefan Voppa, who let him go. Can Adam Pohl try and track down Steve Ficacci? The gap is 3 seconds. And Steve Ficacci doing Steve Ficacci-like things. And just driving away. You cannot count out any of these guys running in the top 10. Peter Lanick behind David Curtis now. Keep an eye on the 294 here. He's going to peek driver's left, try and get to the inside of Curtis. And the 43. Oh, and we got a car upside down. Oh, the 208 of Justin Craig going upside down. What happened? He got into it with somebody. And oh, it was Adam Pohl. Oh, he couldn't avoid up into the catch fence. Oh my goodness. You can get another view of this. Wow, just takes off, and Adam Pohl, who was running in 2nd position, gets loose there. And Justin Craig ends up on his lid. Not the way you want to be pointed here, and Adam Pohl going to pull in, get his fast repair completed. But, yeah, Justin Craig having the tow to pit lane, and he will go multiple laps down, I believe. Steve Ficacci continuing to extend the lead now because of that, 4.6 seconds. Aaron Treacle moves into 3rd, so right back to where he started. Good recovery so far from him, but 9 seconds behind Ficacci. One of those guys you would think if he was a little closer could go up there and contend Now Ficacci can kind of just lay off. Stefan Vapa running a nice consistent pace here like he's done the last handful of races, and got himself battling for a podium finish at Sebring last week. Michael Pavolano, Colin Kortnick side by side. Rafael Torres late on the brakes there. He's going to go a little wide, push Aaron Dietrich off the racetrack, and now they are 3 wide. And action everywhere. Let's go back and take a look here. Rafael Torres with the big send. But just slides the car, and Aaron Dietrich has to react there, and then you see the 111. Oh, and has Michael Pavolano had an issue here? He has, out of the final corner. What just happened here? Racing with the 32 of Colin Kortnick. I'm gonna guess. Oh, Rafael Torres got him. And big slide into the wall. Big hit there on the left rear. And he will continue on, but limping around this racetrack in the 16th position. And let's go up here. Another battle for position. Peter Lanik moving into the top 5. Bruce Wiley behind him, and they are closing up on David Curtis, who's continuing to climb positions. Up from 12th into 4th spot. But what a race from him. And Rafael Torres continuing to march through the field here, using the bumpers a little bit more than we would have expected, but he is going to take 8th position away. Behind him, Jesse Brandon going to take a look now. Driver's right. Rafael Torres not concerned about that, but here comes Brian Kennedy continuing to march through the field along with Torres. Both those drivers, some of the fastest in the field. Go back up. David Curtis, Peter Lanik. Swapping positions here. Both running in the top 5 right there behind him. Bruce Wiley, who started 13th. Great debut for him. Colin Kortnick started 14th. He's up to 7th. Really nice showing for the 32 team gas burn machine. I think we saw a battle down into turn 1. Peter Lanik and David Curtis swapping positions back. And then they swap them again into the S's. And this is the nature of racing here. You've got some draft. You've got long straightaways. And you don't really lose a lot of speed in the S's. There's a lot of banking. Here we are into the chicane, the bus stop here. And Lanik gonna hang on to 4th. David Curtis in 5th position. Oh my goodness, so much action here in this race. Good battle though for the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions right here on your screen. You got to go back a little ways to Rafael Torres now starting to close up on Colin Kortnick. And then look at this 4-pack of cars here. Jesse Brandon under fire from Brian Kennedy, who's going to look drivers right up the hill here. Going to be able to slide out of the corner and take the position away. Jesse Brandon struggling a little bit. Here comes Aaron Dietrich and Jakub Bielik fighting to get into the top 10. Bielik going to look drivers right. Try and make the move there. Oh, a little bit sideways though. Spins the tires. Really great battling all race long here, and we are already past a quarter of the way. And just realized we did not have the track map on, so apologies for that, but we'll have it on for the rest of the race. Bruce Wiley, we're on board with him right now. Started 13th, running 6th right here in the toe of David Curtis and Peter Lanik, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And they're all about 15 to 16 seconds behind your race leader, Steve Ficacci, continuing to stretch it out. 7 seconds back to Stefan Vapa. These two did battle in the vintage racing a few weeks back, like I mentioned. Obviously, the real world experience paying off just a little bit here, running first and second. Fakachi not laying back, though. You can see the car is not settled for him. He's still pushing very hard, running a 142.19, which is faster than everybody else. Darren Treacle is starting to close up on Stefan Vapa. He's been a bit faster, 7/10 faster to be exact. Let's take a look at the line this time, and Treacle actually the quickest one on the track. 400ths or 4,000ths faster than Steve Fakachi. He's not going to get to him with that kind of pace, but you never know, with a good pit stop. Might be able to close the margin up to a point where Fakachi might feel some pressure. I don't see that happening at the moment. How about farther back here? Aaron Dietrich and Jakub Bielik. These two have been battling since the drop of the flag. And Dietrich going to take the spot at the top of the S's, but here comes Jakub now. Right behind him. Into the bus stop. So much grip in these M8 GTEs. Oh, an issue there for Jesse Brannon. Did he have a penalty? Falls back to 12th. Further up the road, Colin Kornick running in 9th. Sticking right with Brian Kennedy, running in 8th. Rafael Torres up to 7th now. And about 2.5 seconds behind Bruce Wiley, so there will be some more battles, I think, within the top 5 by the end of this race. We'll see how Torres and Brian Kennedy do as they continue to march forward here. Some of the faster cars on the track. Top 5 are your fastest cars, though. Fakachi, a 1:42.13, as he has led every single lap in this race. Next closest lap time, that is Darren Treacle, 1:42.75, but that is 6/10 off Steve Fakachi's time. So Fakachi, 2-time winner this season. He's looking to make it 3 here at the Glen. I believe coming into the race tonight, taking a look at the points, Darren Treacle is your points leader, but Fakachi trying to take that away, and he could do it with the victory. And David Curtis locking it up a little bit there as they work into the boot. Bruce Wiley trying to close back up to him. Rafael Torres not gaining any time. He's actually lost a bit to Bruce Wiley and the rest of the top 5, and Brian Kennedy is closing in on him. Oh, big bobble there from Torres at the entrance back to the NASCAR circuit. And he's going to get passed up by Brian Kennedy. He'll take the 7th position away. So 77 and the 777 swap spots. And here comes Torres onto pit lane. Is he going to take some tires here possibly? Was really struggling. How about this 3-car battle going on here? Aaron Dietrich, Jakub Bielik battling again, but inside the top 10 now. Torres on pit road. Go to the tail end of the lead lap. See how long he sits in the box here. 12.4 seconds. And we'll have to keep an eye on Steve Ficacci and the rest of these guys. What kind of lap times Torres runs? Total time on pit road, 40.4 seconds, and he will fall back here behind Adam Pohl, who runs 15th with the repaired race car. Running second when he had a big problem, and Justin Craig launched off of him. Keeping an eye on all of those guys, continuing to work back up into the points, trying to make comebacks here. This is the closest battle on the racetrack is Brannon, Dietrich, and Bielek, as it looks like Yakov has lost a couple of positions. Matthew Gazenda, nice solid run in 12th. He started back in the 17th position, so nice run, as I said. Carlos Bonds and Matthew Stover trying to race for a couple points here, 13th and 14th. Darren Treacle continues to close up on Stefan Vapa, but neither of them can keep up with Ficacci that time, though. Treacle was the fastest car on the track, but it seems like he'll run one of those laps and then Ficacci just absolutely pours it on and runs 2 or 3 tenths quicker. And the total fall off at this point, really not too much, just about 6 tenths to a second. Mike Nickham has lost the lead lap here. Not sure what happened to him. Maybe he got collected in the Justin Craig incident there, but runs 20th position, only car off the lead lap. Justin actually staying on the lead lap. Not sure how he did that, but remaining on the lead lap here. On board here with Carlos Bonds as he looks to try and take 13th from Matthew Stover, right there in his tire tracks. And Ficacci, not a great lap that time, but still such a huge margin out in front. Just as smooth as you like, and just maintaining that 8-second lead. Darren Treacle is now pulled within 1 second of Stefan Vapa. He'll start to benefit from some draft, but also a little bit less downforce in these corners, so it kind of balances, but he will gain on these straightaways, and the gap is just about a half second now. I mean, he is really closed up here. This corner, one of the most difficult around this configuration of track, kind of off camber. There's not really any car you drive that likes that corner, and that is where we saw Adam Pohl have his problem, collecting Justin Craig into the final corner here. We are past the halfway point. I've just been so glued to this action, I completely missed it, but we're going to go to the halfway break and be right back. And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Turn!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV area. Check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzers. Savory and delicious empanadas by Peruvian Brothers are now available in their tap room. For all things Beltway, go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow at Beltway Brew Co. on social media. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Back at the racetrack now, you see Darren Treacle has brought it in the pit lane, bringing it in from 3rd position. He'll fall back to 8th here as he works back onto the speedway. 39.9 seconds on the pit lane, 11.5 second pit stop. We'll see how things shake out and when Steve Ficacci and Stefan Vappa bring it in. But we did see a battle further back. And here comes Bruce Wiley on the pit lane. But we did see a battle with Carlos Bonds, I believe, getting into it with somebody there. They made some contact on the back straightaway. Here comes Aaron Dietrich into pit lane, I believe, for the 2nd time. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Possibly fueling issue, as here comes Steve Ficacci responding. Really good entry there. And what does Stefan Vappa do? Does he just stay out and try and lead a lap here? Like he will lead a lap and take over the top spot for the moment. Peter Lanek working out of the final corner. Here comes David Curtis onto pit lane. And behind him, Brian Kennedy, who's having a nice recovery run. And looks like Colin Kornick will stay out. Here comes Jesse Brannon, going to bring it in. So Steve Ficacci, how long is he going to be in the pit lane? 11.7, 3/10 slower than Darren Treacle, but that margin was huge, and it will remain a pretty big margin between those drivers. Keeping an eye on the distance there. Darren back up to full song here, and Steve still working, getting up to speed at the top of the SSL. Looks like he is back up to pace, and the gap between those two, 9.3 seconds. So perfect execution there. Really nice in lap for Steve Ficacci. Darren Treacle gaining a little bit of time now, 8.8 seconds, 8.7, but still it's just so far. Stefan Vappa, you know he's going to have to bring it in here. And the top 3 have yet to pit, but Steve Ficacci will re-inherit the race lead. Assuming Stefan Vappa doesn't throw a curveball at us and take like a 3-second pit stop. He would probably take over the top position. Here he comes on to pit lane. Nice job locking it down to pit road speed. He will work his way down. Here comes Peter Lanek as well behind him. How about Colin Kornick? He spun it right in front of Steve Ficacci. Is that going to slow down the 00? He's still in the wall, and Darren Treacle now going to close up behind him. This could hurt Darren. The 32 back up to speed here. Colin Kortnick, what happened to him? Just that difficult corner. As Vapa, normal length pit stop. Yeah, just wide there, gets on the curb and then into the Armco barrier. And he'll bring it on to pit road, but back at the point, Steve Ficacci, your race leader. Once again, Stefan Vapa, about 8.3 seconds behind, and Darren Treacle closing in on him once again. So basically just where we left off before the commercial break is exactly where we've resumed. And basically everyone has made a pit stop here. Carlos Bonds is on pit lane. And there were the cars that crashed earlier that have already made a pit stop, 10 laps in or so. Steve Ficacci, what can you say? I mean, he has dominated here tonight. 14 out of 16 laps led. Stefan Vapa has led the other two. And he is being trailed right now by Darren Treacle. Very exciting stuff here tonight in the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League from Watkins Glen. This is the battle for second, which will feel like a win for both of these drivers. I mean, Ficacci once again on another level, picking up right where he left off a few seasons back, winning that championship. I believe it was in these cars. So very, very comfortable in the GTE machines. How about Adam Pohl? What a recovery for him, although he has not made a pit stop. I mean, well, he did stop 13 laps ago, so after the wreck early on, he brought it in, but I'm not sure he'll have enough to take it to the end here. 10 minutes left in this race. It'll be very tight for him. Might have to save or just splash and go. Started 7th and had a vicious wreck. Justin Craig. And looking for battles on track. Clint Fletcher going to take one away from Colin Kortnick. That's 11th and 12th. You see Clint back. I know he had some internet problems. And started 9th, running 11th. But Colin right here on the back bumper. Is he going to try and make a move into the bus stop? No, he'll back out of it. So Clint Fletcher hangs on to 11th. And he's got about 9 seconds to catch up to Jakub Bielek, who's having a nice top 10 run. The battle with him and Aaron Dietrich has dissolved, with Aaron making a second pit stop there. Must have had a penalty. In front of him, Michael Pablano, Jesse Brannon not far apart. Brannon in 8th. Michael Pablano started 10th, running 9th. He's shown good speed here this season. And look at the big run into the corner there. Jesse unfazed by that. He'll hang on to 8th, at least for a few more corners. They work back to the front stretch. Got to keep an eye on this battle for second. Here comes Darren Treacle. Going to look drivers left. And it's Stefan Vapa. He's just going to let him take it. Stefan happy to end up with a podium finish here. And he is well out in front of Adam Pohl, who may or may not have to make another pit stop. And if he does have to pit, he's going to end up outside the top 10. So he's probably hoping that he can stretch the field to the end of this race. Jesse Brannon, Michael Pablano, we were just looking at this before. Still fighting for that spot. Pablano tries to get the nose in there into the bus or the boot. Not able to do it, but he's going to try and fake driver's right. Not quite close enough to make the move. Jesse Brannon, big mover in this one, up from 16th to 8th. Here comes Pabolano, big send late on the brakes there. Not quite close enough, though. Don't really see any other battles as Peter Lanik pulls onto pit lane. He had yet to make the pit stop as well. So, not sure what's going on with Peter here. He was having a nice race. Started 6th. He's going to fall towards the rear of the lead lap. Here we go, this battle. Once again, here comes Pabolano. Gonna look driver's right. Jesse Brannon, nothing he can do. The draft up the S's. And the 111 will take the spot. Brannon offline there, losing some ground. That battle is over with for the moment. Yakov Bielik would like to get up in the mix there, though. He's not too far back, just a handful of car lengths. Colin Kortnick, Clint Fletcher still separated by just about two or three car lengths. Trying to find other battles going on here. Nothing at the moment. Everybody pretty well spaced out, but just 5 minutes left in this one. It's going to be about 3 more laps for Steve Ficacci, who was absolutely dominated the Rixflix machine. Carrying a lot of speed here through the S's. And he and Darren Treacle running almost the exact same lap time the last few times around. They are the cars to beat this season. Both have won 2. And Ficacci looking for his 3rd tonight. Darren Treacle, after what he went through in turn number 1, I mean, 8.5 seconds behind, making a bunch of passes to get to 2nd is going to be a very solid result for him. Ficacci with some lap traffic in front of him. That is going to be Aaron Dietrich, who's going to try and hang on, I would think, to the tail end of the lead lap here. He's actually running very good lap times. He had an extended stay on pit road the last time, so possibly tire change. But, he's only a couple tenths slower than the leaders, so very, very good speed for Aaron Dietrich. Just going to find himself 17th and probably not going to be earning any points tonight. Rafael Torres did take it behind the wall in this race. Matthew Stover also on pit lane. Mike Nickham 2 laps down. So we have 17 out of the 20 drivers still on the lead lap. Yakov Bielik stalking Jesse Brannon right now. He's just a few car lengths behind. Not able to get close enough at the moment. He'll have the help of the draft here on the front straightaway. Down into turn number 1. Can he outbrake him a little bit here? He's going to try to. Back to the throttle here as they work up towards the S's. This is going to be the battle for 8th and probably about the best one. Although Brian Kennedy's caught David Curtis. He makes the pass into the bus stop. Great job there. Brannon and Bielik, though, side by side at the top of the S's. Yakov trying to make it work on driver's left. He'll get around, but got by pretty quickly there. That'll leave some opportunity for Jesse Brannon to try and close back up here over the last couple of laps. We'll see what he can do. He does have some damage on the left side of that race car. Matthew Gazenda and Peter Lanik, 12th and 13th. But Lanik looking really fast right now. He's actually the fastest car on the racetrack. Watching for more battles, but nothing to speak of is Ficacci. He'll be taking the white flag next time around. Just a minute and a half left in this race. He did put Aaron Dietrich a lap down. Aaron with a lot of damage. He must have caught the wall here while we weren't looking. That car appears a little bit skewed there, though. And absolutely no battles for position at the moment. Keep an eye on the intervals. See if anybody does get to fighting for a spot. But once again, smooth sailing for Steve Ficacci. No mistakes at all in this race. And now he's just, he's letting his lead bleed off a little bit here with Darren Treacle now. Chopping it down to 7.8 seconds, but it would take Steve going for a big slide or a big crash here for Darren to close up. Steve just, he doesn't have to push it. I mean, he's so far ahead. Keep an eye on him. How about Darren Treacle, though? Good recovery. Was at one point as far back as, I think, 7th. And fighting for everything he can here on this last lap. It'll be the white flag, though, for Steve Ficacci. Darren Treacle across the line in 2nd. Stefan Vappa, great race from him. He started 5th tonight. Led a couple laps during the pit cycle, and he'll most likely come home in 3rd. How about Adam Pohl, though? Can he stretch the fuel? So he got a nice margin back to Brian Kennedy. This would be an incredible recovery for Adam Pohl if he can take 4th position tonight after what he experienced there at the exit of the boot while running in 2nd spot. Ficacci works his way down into the boot. 7 seconds the margin between 1st and 2nd place. Another incredible dominating performance. It'll be his 3rd of the season. And issues for Jesse Brannon, who's brought it back to pit lane. Did he go for a spin here? I'm not sure, but he brought it down pit road. Ficacci, though, working through the boot. The gap still 7 seconds. No problem. No issues with fuel. We will be keeping an eye on Adam Pohl, though, see if he starts slowing down at any point. Ficacci through turns 10 and turn 11. He's going to win at Watkins Glen, his 3rd race of the season. What a performance. Steve Ficacci flawless again. And he'll take the victory. Darren Treacle out of turn 11. Going to take that win. 2nd place. Going to feel like a win for him. And Stefan Vappa, great performance 2 weeks in a row. And he'll end up on the podium here tonight at Watkins Glen. Adam Pohl able to stretch the fuel. I think he might be out. Yeah, he is running out. What a great job. Incredible strategy to get all those positions back. He'll finish 4th. Here comes Brian Kennedy sailing in. And he is going to send it in the barrier to round out the top 5. But how about Steve Ficacci? Going to take the win here. The Rixflix machine. Winner at Watkins Glen. See if we can pull him into the booth here straight away. Talk with him and the rest of our podium finishers. We can find Mr. Steve Ficacci. I don't see him in here. Well, I don't see our podium finishers in the room just yet, so we will be right back after a quick commercial break. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV area. Check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzers. Savory and delicious empanadas by Peruvian Brothers are now available in their tap room. For all things Beltway, go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow at Beltway Brew Co. on social media. Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Swag.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Back at the racetrack now, going to be pulling in our race winner here tonight, and that is Mr. Steve Ficacci. Steve, this is Adam in the V-Seed booth. You got a copy?
I do. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty well, and you must be feeling pretty well yourself. Another dominating performance here, and I guess the real world experience is becoming a factor. And man, what a dominating race!
You know, it's funny you bring up the real world. When I went to Watkins Glen, obviously, you know, it's real. You got to learn it on your own there. But there was like a familiarity to it where you kind of everything's where you expect it to be. But you still got to figure out the bumps and things like that. And when I jumped on the sim today to do qualifying, I feel like there was just like an extra level that I had. You know, like it's almost like you do a track walk and you kind of see the bumps and you learn little things that you couldn't see at speed. And I feel like I kind of had that coming in today. You know, the turn 1 incident I think made it look better for me than it really was. Darren looked like he had some good pace, and you know, some of the other guys who, you know, possibly could have had a chance, but you know, we'll never know.
Yeah, ultimately, you created a cushion there, and nobody was going to be able to close back up to you. I mean, we've seen that a couple times this season, where once you're out there in front, you are long gone on an island. But yeah, I mean, must help a little bit. Takes the stress off. You can run some nice clean laps and focus forward. But you get your 3rd win tonight and should pretty much tie it up with Darren for the points lead. We got a week off next week, and we go to Daytona after that. How do you feel about going there next?
So Daytona's kind of it's like a NASCAR restrictor plate. Like you really can't get away. You need to be really, really fast to kind of break the draft. And in this league, I don't think it's ever happened. I think there's always been, you know, at least 2 cars, possibly 3 or 4, you know, just vying for the finish coming at that final chicane. And, you know, the 2 weeks will probably be no different. But, you know, it's just, you can kind of play some strategy, maybe save some fuel and do a short pit stop or pit on a different lap. Or, I mean, there's things you can try to do, but I kind of feel like, you know, you really need to be well over a second in front of the car in front of you to, you know, be unaffected by the draft. And it's hard to do. You know, I can kind of chip away here and there, but to just put that huge gap on somebody in 1 lap is really tough. So, yeah, I don't know. I usually don't kind of have a plan going into it. You just wait and see how it plays out. But, you know, sometimes they work out for me, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I mean tonight is one of those tracks as well that you'd think that we would have had a lot of guys fighting for the win. It's one of the faster tracks and a lot of drafting, but I mean you proved them wrong here. You got the win with the 7.2-second lead, and you lead 22 out of the 24 laps run
Mm.
tonight to take another win, third win of the
Well,
season.
I came in with the mindset that it was going to be a battle the whole time, and that I was going to have this big race, and there's going to be guys going back and forth, and my thought was to be patient. And then I looked at my mirror and turned the bus up the first turn. I was like, "There's nobody here."
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of changed everything.
Yeah, I think it was about a second and a half you had, into the chicane the first time around. So definitely on a different level here tonight.
Yep.
You take the win. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Sure. First, I just want to say, racing with Stefan and Darren. I got to race with Stefan 2 weeks ago at Watkins Glen in real life, and Darren won a CCA Super Tour race here in May, I think it was. So I mean, like, he's super fast here. So it's really cool to have like the real world and the virtual kind of coming together. But back to thanking people. I'd like to thank SVC, my SVC Psychology. It's the sponsor of my real race car, which I kind of brought over to the sim here. They're located in Caldwell, New Jersey, and then also Hillcrest Tire. They're in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. But those are some of my real world sponsors that I figure might as well give them some time.
Awesome, Steve. Well, congrats again. And yeah, those drivers you just mentioned, you guys completed the top three here tonight. So obviously it transfers over into the sim, and great performance tonight. And we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is winner here tonight. Steve Ficacci will go now to second place. That is going to be Darren Treacle. Darren, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do, Adam. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad, man. Very exciting race. You had quite an exciting moment there in turn number one, 4 wide going into the first corner, and you were able to survive it, but had to make up some ground. Talk about that and getting up to second place.
Yeah, going into turn one, I don't know. My crew chief was going off, right, left, and then I thought they said I was good to go on the right side, and next thing you know, I get hit, and then I hit whoever's on the right hand side of me, which I guess was Raphael. I'm not 100% sure, but I think for the most part, I think we all kept going. Yeah, then later in the carousel, there was a car spun around, and everybody split that car, inside, outside kind of thing. And once things settled down a little bit, then it was just time to put your head down and go for it. And my car was a little bit damaged, so I didn't have quite the speed that I needed, but it was good enough. Then I was given a gift when Adam Pohl, I believe. Unfortunately, he took out a couple of guys in front of me because something happened with him. So that was kind of a gift. And then it was just hold her steady. I didn't really think I could keep up with or catch Steve. We were running very similar lap times, and once Steve gets a gap like that, the chances are of catching him are slim to none when he's doing Ficacci things,
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like Steve Ficacci just doing Steve Ficacci things here and pulling away from everybody. But I mean, you guys were running the same lap times. It was just that margin, and you had to pass some people. I think if that hadn't happened, it would have been you two, lap after lap, just going for it here. But definitely impressive. You guys continue to trade wins. He's now got 3, you've got 2, but I think you're going to be basically tied in the point standings for the championship lead. So we come back in 2 weeks at Daytona. How do you feel about going there next?
I was looking at the schedule. I feel pretty good about the next, I think, 4 tracks. Daytona, I usually do pretty well there. I know it pretty well. I've been there in real life racing. But I feel pretty comfortable and confident about Daytona. I mean, Steve's pretty good no matter where he goes, so I know he feels good and confident about Daytona as well as some other guys. So I think it's going to be a battle. There's a lot of drafting. The draft is huge at Daytona, so that's going to come into play, and who makes the least amount of mistakes on the infield and in the right position when they get out on the oval.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Back in the first season that we broadcast with you guys, it might have been you and Christopher Hill and Steve Ficacci all going at it for the win. I think you might have got it there in that one actually.
I
The
do. I
yeah,
did. Yeah. Yeah. It was me and Chris Hill. I think Steve
yeah,
was there as well. Yeah. But I think I just squeaked that one out.
yeah. We'll see if you can do it again and even up the score with Steve here for wins on the season. But second place tonight at the Glen. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. First I'll give a shout out to our league sponsors, SEO Mike and Sten over there at Beltway Brewery. And then to my insurance company, Treacle Insurance Agency and Haggerty Motorsports. And then, Scott, he puts this thing on each week. I think he even watches the broadcast wherever he is when he's traveling, which is dedication. And, of course, you guys and for doing the broadcast and doing such a great job. We appreciate it.
Yeah, this one was definitely exciting. And you got a nice solid finish here tonight. We'll see what you can do in a couple weeks in Daytona, but have a nice week off, and we'll catch you then.
Sounds good. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. Second place, Darren Treacle. Let's go to third place now. That is Stefan Vappa. Hey, Stefan, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do, Adam. How are you?
Hey, not too bad, man. How's it feel to be the only person to lead laps here other than Steve Ficacci and really a great podium performance here from you?
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. That's interesting. It feels all right. It was a bit of a scrappy race. The first corner incident kind of bothers me a little bit. Not sure exactly how that happened, but I don't think any of us realized it was 4 wide going into there. So looking at that, and I thought that it was on me, and I kind of looked back at it later, and I'm not so sure anymore, but I sort of always planned on giving that spot back to Darren.
Yeah.
If he caught me and got a run on me, I wasn't going to fight him for it, kind of thing. But anyway, it was cool. It was nice to run with Darren and run with Steve. Kind of watch Steve disappear off in the distance as things often go with him. But I was sort of fuel saving because I knew I didn't have Steve's pace, and I was just trying to take care of the tires and not slide the car, but it just wanted to slide around. So that didn't work out so well. Maybe they were better than others. I don't know, but it was tough to keep the car off the traction control on this race.
Yeah, I mean, you and Darren and Steve were really the class of the field. Lap times, you guys were consistently in the 142s and low 143s, and just pacing the field here. Nobody could really keep up with you three. But yeah, I mean, really a couple of great races here back to back, right? Sebring battling there. I believe it was for the final podium position, right? And then you get the third place here tonight. We got a week off next week, and then we go to Daytona. How do you feel about going out there next?
Oh, that's cool. I've got a ton, as do many people. I've got a ton of laps at Daytona.
Yeah, and
So that's great. It's a good thing we've got next week off because I was gonna miss it anyway. Got to head out to New Jersey Motorsports Park for the last race of my season. And, so that's good. That's good. And then, yeah, Daytona is a fun event because that's a track that offers a lot of opportunity to pass, but also plenty of opportunities to screw stuff up.
Yeah, we were hearing from Steve and Darren, the draft obviously being a big component, and I remember season 1 that we broadcast with you guys. I think it came down to really like a last lap photo finish between Darren and Christopher Hill. So looking forward to seeing a few more guys up in contention.
I remember that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Steve and Darren and I have actually done the Daytona 24 endurance race as a team, so we've got a lot of laps.
And I know you guys all have experience here at the Glen, and ultimately all end up on the podium here. So it's cool to see how that transfers over. Some of that real world experience at the real place transfers into the sim here, and you guys, put on a masterclass here tonight. So. Third place will do it for you at the Glen. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yep, always leave a shout out to the sponsors. I appreciate what they do to make this possible. And Swixtel, which is my sponsor. and the wife, of course. And thank you to you for doing the great job that you do. So appreciate it.
I appreciate that, and thanks for taking some time here. We'll catch you in a couple weeks at Daytona.
Looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
That is Stefan Vapa, third place finisher here tonight. A fantastic race this evening from Watkins Glen, and looking forward to coming back and for another one at Daytona. That is going to be a really fun race to watch. Let's go to the rest of the results and the recap. Just two lead changes here. That was Steve Ficacci coming into the pits, Stefan Vapa taking the lead from him, and then Ficacci taking it right back after things cycled through. And ultimately, Steve Ficacci leads 22 out of 24 laps and takes the win here. Jared Treacle, though, just had to make up some ground, able to get to second by the end of it, and Stefan Vapa round out the top three here tonight. Adam Pohl with incredible strategy to save enough fuel and just limp across the line there on fumes in fourth position. Brian Kennedy come home in the fifth spot. Sixth tonight was David Curtis. Seventh, Michael Pavolano. Eighth, Jakub Bielik. Ninth was Clint Fletcher. And rounding out the top 10, Colin Kortnick. 11th position, Peter Atlantic. 12th, Matthew Gazenda. 13th, Carlos Bonds. 14th, Bruce Wiley. Justin Craig ends up with a point here, scoring 1 point 15th after ending up on his lid at 1 point. So really nice job by him. Jesse Brannon will end up in the 16th position, last car on the lead lap. Aaron Dietrich will finish 17th, Mike Nickham 18th, Matthew Stover will end up in 19th, and Rafael Torres rounds out the field in 20th here tonight. But man, what a fantastic race. Looking forward to the rest of the season here with these guys, and the championship's still up in the air for so many of these drivers, still fighting for it after another very competitive race. And looking forward to Daytona in 2 weeks. We will be back next Tuesday with the Below the Double Yellow Premier Series for their longest race of the season from Charlotte. And we will not be broadcasting next week because these guys have the next Thursday off. But then we'll be back at Daytona the following week. And hope to catch you all then. Thanks again to the sponsors, the admins, and hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And do all of that really does help us grow the channel, and we really appreciate it if you did enjoy it. But anyways, from Watkins Glen, this has been the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. Steve Ficacci ends up your winner, and that is going to do it for tonight. Thanks so much again. Have a great night.